Hello, how's everybody doing? Today I want to talk about where I'm at. Okay, this is a video because the station is growing and it's going to a place to where I'm just going to have to show you what's happening. I mean, before it was not before, because it's still the things that I was doing is showing you this and showing you how to obtain this and showing you how to obtain this. But I noticed when I was doing, being an ex-Jehovah's Witness, it's I was a Jehovah's Witness and now I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, and how it affected my life. In the last video, I talked about ability, and it seemed like the other videos, but it wasn't anything like the other videos, because before I was talking about all the things that happened to me or happened to us as an ex-Jehovah's Witness. And this happened, and that happened, and this happened, and that happened. And then it's developed into where I'm seeing what happened it's not okay, it all happened, but now I'm seeing, how can I explain? Not what happened, but what I have and what it affected, how the things affected what I had and I didn't realize I had. Like I talked about the abilities, okay? Now, when I was a Jehovah's Witness, I didn't realize that I had abilities to do things. Why I didn't realize that I had abilities to do things was the fact that I didn't know I had the abilities to do things. Why I didn't know? Because maybe it wasn't explained, or I didn't see it, or maybe it wasn't recognized so much in our studies as a human being. So that's what I can say, is that yes, when I went to school or when I was a Jehovah's Witness and things were like, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. But can I do it is what I'm trying to say. But I didn't realize, I didn't question myself whether I could do it or whether I can't do it. I just did it. And I just used my ability that I had to try and do things. So I guess everything was just like trying to do this and trying to do that and being able to do this and being able to do that. But now I'm at a point to where I say, I know I have the ability to do certain things. And like with the music, I know I can do this, but now I shape my abilities to do things. And that's one point as far as the ex-Jehovah's Witness, like being an ex-Jehovah's Witness, that I did the last video, and I was trying to explain that now I know I have the ability to do certain things. I know I had the ability to do certain things. And I wanted to enlighten you that it's not just an ability, but the ability has to be organized. So we talk so much about the things that happened, but now I'm in more of a control of my abilities. So the things that happened to me as a Jehovah's Witness, now I can look back and I can say, I didn't know this, I didn't know that, I didn't know this, now I know this, and now I know that I can help others see this, and I can make plans now to organize and strengthen certain abilities, and just instead of just everything is falling on me, and do I have the ability to just do I have the ability to do this? It's like an X-Man or like a superhero. Okay, he has the abilities to do so many things, but yet he has limitations, and each superhero has certain limitations, and life is just throwing at them all these things, but they have to know their limitations. So because they know their limitations so well, they know how to face certain situations. So that's what I was trying to, that's the point I am at the station. As far as ex-Jehovah's Witness, I'm explaining now the ability that I have, that I strengthen, that I didn't have before. Okay? Like, you can say, like, how can I use an example? Like speaking to others, okay? Before, I would just, like, speak to others, explain, and I did all the tapes on videos on how this happened and how that happened, and I can talk about it. But now I know that's an ability that I have that has to be organized in a certain way, okay? Then we have planning about what we want to do. There's a lot of things I wanted to do. Like, for instance, I wanted to get ex-Jehovah's Witnesses together this year. It didn't happen. Why? Because I didn't know that it was a certain ability or certain things were in the way, or it had to be planned or planning. So you see, now my abilities are like being organized, and that's what I tried to stress in the last video, because it's such a fine line. It's now, what are these abilities that I have, that we have, and how can we relate them? Okay. It's like a lot of different things that when I first started really serious back doing the ex-Jehovah's Witness tapes, and how everyone explained to me, oh, this is this way, this is this way, this is this way, this is this way. But now I see that we're dealing with things all together, but in order to stress them to the world or stress them to you, I have to explain, I have to organize how I'm going to do it, how I didn't know how to do that before, and now how I do. So we talked about abilities, and that's where I'm starting now, is I know I have the abilities to do certain things. So with the ability to I guess, go into a certain situation, understand why this happened. And I did that, like, for instance, like, what's wrong, and how do people get caught up as far as being a Jehovah's Witness. And it was so deep, and yes, it is so deep, that it has to, now I know I have to have the ability to be able to broadcast what happened, or why people can be misled in a religion like I was as a Jehovah's Witness, as I used to be a Jehovah's Witness. So that's where I'm at right now, is being able to organize my abilities to do that, to do the other things in the channel too, like, for instance, the music. And there's like for instance, I just did this. I just started doing the drums. Okay, like I'm doing the drums, and I'm practicing. I know I need drums, but in the beginning, if you don't understand the station is about what you have as a person. Like I did auditions in New York, and I remember I wanted to do so well, and I remember getting on stage, and he said, "Sing," and I didn't have anything. I mean, yeah, I could practice. I didn't know that I had to practice and practice and practice. I didn't know that I might not be able to do it, or I can have a song and there could be one word that could be messed up, and it would mess up the whole audition. I didn't know that sometimes I have to know about the grammar of a song. I didn't know that I had to even understand the song before I sang it. So I didn't have those tools. So what I'm saying, it's about before the basics. And I mean, I talked to some people and they said you're studying the drums without the drums, but like I'm saying in the station, it's before the basics. And like I was studying this, okay, because I did have a friend one time, he was a drummer, and he did explain to me. So I didn't tell you that, but I do know a little bit about the basics, but I didn't take his lessons, maybe like 2 or 3 lessons. But then I always talked about before the basics. So I'm doing before the basics, and first I was just doing like this, and I noticed that this hand is different from this hand, of course. But then there's a point at a focus to where they're both the same. So I was working on that focus, and then I was saying beat, and then a beat, and then a beat, and a beat. But it's one, and then I go this one, then this one, and this one. But then I realized, and all this hooks together, it has to do with the ability that I'm talking about, okay? So, I was doing beat and beat and beat, but then I said to myself, because there's something that I came across when I was studying so many things on the station, and it's called, not control, but isolation, okay? And if I do this beat and then I do this beat, I'm isolating the beats, okay? As far as if there was a drum here, it would make a noise, and it would make a noise, and it would make a noise, and it would make a noise. But then I said to myself, well, what is the other thing doing? So in actuality, you are doing different things, but you're not isolating both of them together. So here I'm isolating one thing and then one thing and one thing, but if I go like this, I isolated both of them, I put both of them in isolation, and I noticed one was going up and one was going down. So in actuality, you are doing different things, but you just never isolate both of the things together. So you can have isolating a beat, but you can also isolate 2 things instead of isolating 1 thing. So then I have this to where I'm going down and up at the same time. So that's an isolation. So that's how, when I talk about the ability, at first I just had the ability and nothing. I mean, like, you just have the ability and you keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. But now I'm at a point to where the ability, I'm learning the aspects of having an ability, okay? So then we have that. So that's how I'm going to name this tape is the aspects of having an ability. Okay. So I hope I write it down, I hope I remember it. So then we have that. So that's the pattern of the points that I want to make as far as the station is concerned. I mean, like, I know also, like, when I sing and I do the guitar, a lot of people don't realize when they're new to the station that, hey, what is this guy doing? But in actuality, it's like a video lapse. I'm showing you how to reach a perfection, and I'm actually doing what I'm showing you. And every time it gets better. I really don't put up, from my past videos, I stopped doing videos on certain things if I can't give you new information. Some people who know the videos can spot it like this. They're like awesome, I swear. They're awesome, okay? They know what they're doing. They may not be able to explain it to you, but these people are like X-Men, I call them. So, like in the music, what I'm saying, there's so many abilities that you work with, like when you're singing. And the thing I like the most about the music is that when I'm doing the guitar and I'm singing, I'm isolating now. I understand I'm isolating two things. I want to bring them together, but the most important thing now is being able to strengthen where these abilities or what the abilities are. And I said I wanted to remember the name of this video, and I guess I wanted to be recognizing the ability or something. Anyway, I'll come up with it again. I should have wrote it down, but I don't have anything to write with, and I don't like to go on off screen. So that's what I wanted to tell you where the station is. It's like having, before everything was like in a glob. It's like when I explain to you, what am I doing? If I say, what am I doing? Everybody would understand that speaks English. And some people know a little English. But if I say, where I'm at, okay, where I'm at, okay, then it would be like, what in the hell did he say? But you would have to reach in and you would have to use your ability and say, oh, where I'm at is where am I at, if you're not familiar with that. Because the other one I was speaking from something so deep, where I'm at, and everybody does it. I mean, I don't care if you're white or you're black. A lot of people, they say, oh, the black people, they don't do this or they don't say this. But I was in a store one time and there was this lady speaking. And I isolated her speech, and she was white, and I saw so many mistakes, just like everybody else, but they don't say them, I don't know why, but they were so many mistakes. So everybody does them, and everybody's afraid of them. Like, they'll click this video off so many times. I mean, their video off so many times because they felt they made a mistake. But what about if it's not a mistake? You understand? So what I'm trying to say is, that's what I learned from my linguistics class, which I really loved. And I couldn't believe it, that there was a link. I already told this story. I'm not going to. I usually don't tell stories over again. It seems like in my ex-Jehovah's Witness tapes, that the stories are being told over again, but they're like, it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing. You really have to dig deep about what I'm talking about, especially the last one when I talk about the abilities. So this is where I'm at. Bye-bye.